FS2Crew is widely known for their virtual co-pilots. Over the last few years, FS2Crew has been developing a new program that is a virtual ground crew for your airplanes called Ultimate Ground Crew X. UGCX has been very welcome into the community since its release a few months ago. Ultimate Ground Crew X has set out to give the simming community a better pushback system, as well as some other features they think you will enjoy. Installing UGCX is fairly standard. The installer is very easy to follow. The only two options are to select your simulator and to confirm the installation location. A DirectX installer then pops up and prompts you to accept the terms, and then the installation continues. Once installed, a UGCX configuration manager icon appears on your desktop. Opening this will prompt for your name, email, and order number to activate the product. After that, UGCX is activated and ready to go for your simulator. The UGCX configuration manager includes manuals, videos, a link to the forums, a logo manager, and a way to check for updates. UGCX uses the default prepared menus to interact with the product. To summon the menu, simply click on the Add-ons tab in the P30 toolbar at the top and select Ultimate Ground Crew X. Not having a key command to summon the window is fairly annoying, especially since a direct competitor has a key command to summon the same type of menu. The options have a good amount of customizability to them and are easy to navigate. Some of the options include a way to change languages and switch between voice and menu controls. There are also a lot of aircraft-specific features, such as changing where UGCX sees the aircraft's wheel positions, to include a bypass pin, enable or disable the rampers, how far back the marshaler is, and a lot more. The voice controls are a nice addition to UGCX, which allows you to have more immersion when communicating with the ground crew. However, one of the biggest issues I run into is that UGCX needs to have a specific word-for-word command said back to it for it to register what I have said and to move on to the next step. For example, when the initial parts of the pushback are underway, UGCX asks for a communications check and to confirm that the brakes are set. You need to say, communications are okay and the brakes are set, exactly like that, or it will not register and continue with the pushback. Having a system that listens for key words like brakes set or communications good, okay, 5x5 would be much better, as pilots fly differently from others and use different voice commands. UGCX offers 6 different services, including a pushback sequence, tow to parking, request to follow me car, and more. Starting at the top, let's look at the pushback sequence. The pushback offers the ability to use a computer-generated pushback or the ability to make your own custom pushback. The computer-generated pushbacks work fairly well when the pushback is a simple left or right, but has some jerkiness to it with some planes, such as the new NGXu. The pushback also seems to always push the plane further than the line, having to correct back and making the pushback further than it needs to be, happening even on shallow turns. The pushback feature also includes a way to custom build pushbacks. When selected, a window will pop up showing the airport's AFCAD. From there, you can build routes and set the pushback location. I am not the biggest fan of this method, as it is impossible to see where stuff like buildings, blast fences, or airport roadways are, making it hard to accurately make pushbacks if the gate is in the corner of the terminal, for an example. The custom pushback also pushes you further than the point you selected on the AFCAD. This can cause issues if your pushback point is closer to the edge of the taxiway or close to a building. UGCX also advertises a way to save the pushback that you've created and reload it in the future. Sadly, I have been unable to get this working on my end, as in the menu, it will not give me the option to load any sort of route again. It is also worth noting that one of the most popular products for P3D, the Majestic Q400, is incompatible with UGCX and cannot be moved by it. Moving on to the engine start sequence. This is used when a pushback is not required for the parking location you are at. This can be done by both hand signals and through the intercom system. There are 5 hand signals to choose from, which is fine for most aircraft. Where this falls short is for the engine start hand signals. The menu will always list Engine 1 and Engine 2 starts, even for 1 or 4 engine aircraft. Seeing as most of their patch notes and even their menu options mention the PMDG 747 by name, it is disappointing to see they did not include a way to detect this aircraft and offer 4 engine start hand signals. Tow to parking is a new feature for any P30 add-on to include, and offers a way to move your aircraft to a new parking position without starting the engines. UGCX will automatically plot the shortest route to the new parking position while avoiding any runways if possible. This seems to not work, however. Starting at KSFO over at the Super Bay and requesting a tow over to the G terminal plots a route across both active runways instead of taking a longer route around the end of both runways. There is also no way to edit the route that UGCX makes for the tow. Some nice features included with the tow are the ability to change speeds and hold position. Follow Me cars are available in the UGCX menu, offering an easy way to find your gate you are wanting to park at. A window with the airport AFCAD appears, and you simply need to click on the parking space you want to park at. The car will either drive up to your aircraft or spawn right in front of you. This service will position a marshaller at the gate of your choice as well. If, say, you have an emergency in flight and need the trucks to be rolled to your location on the runway, UGCX has you covered. When requested, an ARF truck will come to your location, sirens blazing, and douse your aircraft in foam if the option is selected for about 20 seconds. This foam doesn't actually affect your aircraft and is simply a visual. The effect looks fairly good in the daytime, however, at night the foam is still as bright as it was in the day, not being affected by the time change, unfortunately. The last service offered is marshaling. As it sounds, a ramper will spawn at the gate of your choice and direct the aircraft into the parking space. However, the animations are fairly lacking in this department. Excusing the jerky animations of the arms, the marshaller does not have a turn right or turn left animation, only a straight ahead animation. This makes parking fairly difficult without using the external views. I can get the aircraft at about any angle on the line leading up to the spot point, and the marshal will not tell me to turn left or right. Overall, a decent range of services are available with UGCX. While say GSX is focused mainly on turning the aircraft at the gate, UGCX focuses on the movement of the aircraft to and from the gates and moving in between gates as well. FS2Crew has said that UGCX can be used side by side with GSX, and this is true. Overall, the modeling with UGCX is acceptable, while the animations on the other hand leave me fairly disappointed. The rampers look fine in my opinion. The models are detailed enough to do the job, but has some questionable textures here and there. The animations leave some to be desired as well. When the rampers are switching between animations, there is a very noticeable snap that occurs. Even when walking, there is a snap that is very noticeable when the animation goes to repeat itself. The other issues are that the animations do not look very natural. The ground crew will often look like they are gliding across the ground as they walk. Arm movements as well feel very linear and lack the human element. The other thing I have noticed is when the ground crew walks on dirt or grass, they will kick up a lot of dust on either side of them, just like if you were taxiing your aircraft on the grass. For the ground vehicles, the modeling and animations are good. They have a detailed, realistic look to them, and good animations come with it. The only vehicle that could use some work is the Follow Me truck, as it is lower quality than the rest of the vehicles. The tow bar on tows and pushback visually as well drifts from the nose gear and the tug when the aircraft is being turned. It is not much, but noticeable even when the tow bar position is lined up perfectly with the attach point in the UGCX settings. UGCX is currently being sold for €39.95, which I think is fairly steep for this product. Considering that the closest product to it offers very similar services and more at considerably less, it makes it hard for me to justify its price, especially with a product that I think is still fairly unpolished even after its third update. With that, I am giving Ultimate Ground Crew X a score of 5.8. It accomplishes the features it sets out to do with some notable operation issues and visual bugs. Thanks again for joining us for this review. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell for the next video to come out. Be sure to follow us on our other social media accounts, and we'll see you in the next one.